Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hello. I'm Annie Austin Meek. Welcome to the Saturday Softpot Club. Now, every week I come on here and it's sort of getting to be a bit like a diary, isn't it? And at the moment, I have to confess, we're coming into the end of January and I'm still a hobbit. I just want to stay home, sort things out, redo, remake, and actually, last night I came across something that I really liked and I thought I'd share it with you. It's something by Pete Seeger, and it says, if it can't be reduced, repaired, rebuilt, refurbished, refinished, resold, recycled, or composted, then it should be restricted, redesigned, or removed from production. And you know something? I really like that. That's a good guideline, because we have so much stuff, don't we? Just so much stuff. Hello, Carol. Oh, hello, love. Thank you for joining me. So pleased to hear your good news. Congratulations, girl. Oh, what a hero you are. Yes. And I was just talking about reusing, making the best of everything that we have and everything that's been given. And with my soft pots, you know, sometimes, soft pots like this one, I never have to redress. It's a classic soft pot. It's a moss pot. And, you know, a moss pot just looks after itself because the moss is living, it's under there, see? And it protects the pot from the heat and from the cold. And this is just a little bonsai that I liberated 15 years ago. And as you can see, it's still not trying to come out of its pot. And, you know, there's so much to say about soft pots. But yes, that's one that I never have to redress every year because it's already beautifully dressed. Now, some people know me, some people won't. And so, you know, I thought maybe I should actually explain what a soft pot is. A soft pot is a handmade fabric plant pot, suitable for any plant, indoors or out. And you can make them any shape that you want to give. And there's just so much to say about soft pots. This is a little soft pot that I made a couple of weeks ago. And as you can see, she's wearing a very frilly little dress and she's wearing a nice bangle collar. And she's just so pretty. And that was 65 pence in Asda. Saddest looking thing you ever saw. But you can take a sad plant and turn it into something that is absolutely beautiful. And yeah, that's my little Heather. Now what else have I brought in for you? Yeah, I thought I've shown you this again. It's still lovely. Made this a good few months ago now. Gilly picked this one. And yes, as you can see, it's doing very well. And you can have big ones, small ones, indoors, out. Now, this is another little pretty one. There's no plant that doesn't do better in a soft pot. Soft pots last for years and years, and it is well worth going to the trouble of making them, because you can make them and you can reuse the materials in them. And at this time of year, that's what I tend to find myself doing. I wander around my garden and I look, and if you'd been out there wearing your best ball gown for a couple of years, your dress might not look so good either. And so I just go around and just tizzy them up again, all ready for this coming season. Oh, hello, Andrea. Oh, hello, your lovely baby. Oh. Yes, I just thought I'd show people a little bit about what's going on in the garden. Most people's gardens are dead as doornails, but you don't have that with a soft pot. There's always plants, there's always something going on in the soft pot garden. And the forms that they can take, because they're soft and they're mouldable, you can make any sort of shape you like, any sort of colour. And, soft pots are made from ladies' stockings and tights. And, You know, a bit like the ladies who wear them. They're very strong, flexible, supportive, giving, nurturing, and they make the most wonderful plant pots. If you just follow the simple requirement. You can't just put compost in them. It doesn't work. You do need to do something that stops that compaction from constricting it. But a soft pot made properly, how you decorate it is entirely up to you. It's a matter of personal taste. And you can shape them, you can form them. Now, what else have I got here? Oh, this is one that I felt a bit sorry for it, and I got it because it's rather feminine and suggestive, and I don't know, I just wanted to make a nice little soft pot with it, and it's coming back now. It was a very sad one when I first picked it up. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes I feel sorry for plants. And they do recover well, really well in a soft pot, but sometimes, you know, if you put a damaged plant in it to begin with, it can look like the soft pot did that. And actually, soft pots don't. They're very, very kind to plants. The roots grow normally. You don't get roots spiralling. They're just so tactile. They're just wonderful. And it creates a different sort of garden. A very, very, very personal garden. Now, what else have I got? This has been, I just yanked this in from outside. This has been going now for years and years and years. And I thought I'd bring it in and just show you. This is how they wear. Can you see the moss growing? A soft pot will grow its own moss if you leave it out there long enough. They grow their own moss, their own patina, and they're beautiful. And this has just been plonked out there, just getting on with it, and this is what happens. They're sort of quiet. You can make quiet soft pots, you can make really loud ones that you can't possibly miss. It all depends on personality. And this is one that I made ages ago, and I quite like its egg shape. It looks quite primitive, doesn't it? It's quite a primitive looking plant. But, yes, soft pots are plants with personality. That's what they are. There we go. And so, what else? What else have I been doing? Oh, well, this one's always in. This is just to show you that it's not just, you know, what plant you can put in a soft pot. You can put stuff in it too. And then build your soft pot around it and build a completely new narrative. And this I've had for years and years and years. It started off in York, in my shop on Stonegate. And here it is, still going. Same plant, just wonderful. I dressed it up with a little bird. You can dress soft pots up. You can dress them down. They can wear feathers, beads, jewellery. I mean, there's just no end, really. Oh, I know what I was going to show you. This is a bit unusual. I've had this one for a long, long time. And because its neck is so thin, and it's quite tall, people were moving it and it broke. Over 10 years, finally, the sticks inside broke. But I just repaired it. And that's a lovely thing, you know, about soft pots. Something gets broken, generally, you can repair it. Here we go. Now, I don't know whether you can see this. If I put it there, you'll see, I mean, some of it's moss, and some of this is just decoration. And you can keep on going up and up and up with soft pots. I mean, people tend to think of them as small, but I promise you, they're not. They can go really, really tall as well. I'm just lazy with what I can drag upstairs. But if you go to Henshaw's, my soft pot garden's at Henshaw's in Knaresborough, and it's in the most wonderful place. It's free to go in. You can look around. You can go on the beautiful walks down by the riverside. It's a wonderful place, and you have really good food there as well. It's just closed on a Saturday, open the rest of the week, and you can see the soft pot garden, and you'll see it's just, I don't know, it's just got personality. You can speak through your garden. We all know that. And soft pots are just so expressive. So yes, anyway, I just thought I'd bring this one in just to give you some idea of You know, this one is Renew. I've just renewed it. And it's easy, and it doesn't take long. I'll just pop that there. Oh, and this one. It was looking a bit sad, so I just gave it a new dress. And this is just a nice little standard rosemary, and it comes with me on tour every year. And yes, I thought, oh, it's time to just give it a little bit of something. And probably because it's winter, I finished up using wool again. I'm still in the woolly phase. I'm using things that sort of make a plant look warm in the cold. But yes, you can see that's a lovely one. And again, the plant itself is extremely happy. You'll find with soft pots, I mean, when you think of a plant pot, you think of a shape like that. Narrow at the bottom, wide at the top. Well, when you make a soft pot, you'll see that they're the exact opposite, really, to a regular plant pot, because they're wide at the base and narrow at the top. And soft pots, you know, they're flat-bottomed girls. They sit there and they can absorb the ground and the rainwater. They're not prisoners like plants in ordinary pots. No, not at all. And they're easy to pick up, they're easy to move around. And in these days, when people live in places where you're renting, you're not allowed to do anything in your garden space, soft pots are perfect, because you can make soft pots go up a wall, you can grow vegetables on your washing line. I've grown carrots on my washing line before now. There's been other programmes earlier when I opened it up. There's just so many things you can do. In fact, the only limit when it comes to soft pots is your own imagination. Oh, hello, Katerina. Aha, and Karen. Oh, hello, girls. Happy days. Thank you very much for joining me. I've just gone through and I've just been saying that, you know, I'm still in the redo phase. In January, that's what I do. I'm not entirely, mind you, having said that, I have seen a couple of plants that thrill me. But at this point in time, when the energy is low, you know, my interest in plants is not as keen. And I find that I get on with doing all the little housework jobs. Oh, hold on a minute, I better just answer the phone, hold on. Hello, I'm sorry, I can't talk. Right, there we go. Probably a sales call anyway. I feel sorry for those people, goodness me. It's as well to be nice to them, they're doing a very difficult job. Right, Debbie Lee. Oh, hello. I don't know now if anybody here has got a kit and you're ready to actually make a soft pot with me. If you are, that's great. I'll crack on with that. Otherwise, I mean, I was wondering, because I'm still in the remake and redo, I thought I'd give you a choice today. If it's my bloke's birthday, Steve. Happy birthday, Steve. Wonderful fellow, and I love him very much. And he's not really a plant person, but I got him a plant. And I thought I could make that into a little soft pot. It's very sweet. But having said that, I would not use recycled materials for that. I would use a proper tendenia job stocking. Or I've got a little ivy. Now, I mean, you wouldn't give an ivy like this, would you? Oh, hello, here's a present for you. Give an ivy in a little plastic pot? No, you wouldn't. But you watch. You can transform a little plant like this into the most beautiful bespoke present for somebody. Soft pots can be as expensive and it really does depend on the plant. But having said that, the materials that you need to make a soft pot, you could spend a long time. Believe me, it's taken me a long time to draw all the materials that I need together. And you can spend an awful lot of money doing that. Believe me, you can. So the best thing I would suggest is get a kit. Just go onto my website, www.softpots.com, and go to the shop and you can order a kit. And then you've got everything you need, barring gravel and some compost. And it makes all, depending on what size you take, you know, they all make, you know, at least 3, 4 soft pots. And the bigger ones, they can make up to 20 soft pots. So, I mean, you can have a soft pot party. I mean, soft pots are very, very therapeutic. And there's no doubt that having a soft pot party is one of the most lovely things you can do. And you go home with something that you will love and cherish always. Yes, yes. So, anyway, what do you think? Shall I do the Ivy with heavy duty recycled? I thought I would give it another go. Or shall I do this one, which wouldn't really be in heavy duty. This would be a proper job. This one would be heavy duty recycled. What do you think? Da 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 da. You pick, choose. Ah, it's very, very pretty. It's nice to have a change. Although, I mean, an ivy, you never go wrong with an ivy, indoors or out, and they're symbolic of courage and tenacity, and that's what they are, aren't they? They're really tough. This takes a little bit more care. Oh, Debbie Lee, hello, I'm very well, I hope you are too. And Jill, hello Jill, you making soft pots? You making soft pots where you are? I've seen some beautiful photographs that you've sent. Looks like you've been having some fun. Yes, yes. I mean, people are making soft pots all over the world. It's a lovely thing to do, and if you become a registered soft pot maker, you can make soft pots and sell them. And it's a nice little sideline. If you're interested in becoming a registered soft pot maker, let me know. You can contact me all the time, you know, on Annie@softpots.com. Yeah, and there's online courses coming, there's workshops, advanced softpot workshops. It's all there if you want to come along. You can either come along and see me in Henshaws, which would be lovely, 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 or soon you'll be able to download the videos and just go for it. Right, what do you think? Da-da-da-da. Few minutes. Hi, Jill. I don't know. What about this one? This one second. I'm going to, if you choose the Ivy, I'll use heavy duty stockings. We'll have another go at that. If you choose this one, it will be a standard, regular sort of tendenia made with tendenia skinny stockings. Yeah. What do you think? Choose. Oh, is this a... I think I keep pushing this one, don't I? I keep going for this one. I'm going to make a unilateral decision. I think I'm going to make this one. Yes. Actually, it's coming up to February now, isn't it? I mean, it's time to get all lovey-dovey and start thinking about things like that. And generally, I tend to get into feathers, I find, when February comes. Something about feathers and birds and hearts. Everything has its season. And I find that actually all through the season, there's always something different to be going on with. But in January, it tends to be remake, redo, tizzy up, and just prepare the seeds for this coming summer. Now, what have I got here? I've got a pretty little antirrhinum, quite a small one. So what I'm going to do is when you make soft pots, if you want them to be really shiny and really beautiful, the best thing to do is get the sheerest, shiniest, glossiest stockings or tights you can get your hands on. Now, I do sell some from my website, but if you ask your friends for stockings rather than tights or tendenia, then we get round to recycling and reusing. And the thing is that if you use anything more than 10, 15 denier max, there's no point putting anything shiny or any colours or anything like that, because it just doesn't work. Nothing shines through. So what you want, That's why you want sheer, shiny, glossy. And why do I always use black? I find that black tends to show all the colours really well, whereas the blonde stockings, I mean, I do use them specifically in different things, but generally I find that the black 10 denier are the best, because it lets all the colours shine through and they don't look like stockings or tights, which the blonde ones can. Blonde ones can look quite a lot like stockings, like tights. Not that there's anything wrong with that, I suppose. Now, what I've got here, I've got some washed gravel, and I always want to put in some washed gravel. And here we have my ring. This is a soft pot ring, and generally, I mean, you can use bangles, bracelets, all sorts of jewellery, all sorts of things. But this, I tend to use again and again, just to hold the leg of the stocking open while I'm shoveling things into it, basically. Oh-ho! Hello, hello. Samantha sent the red flower. Ah, thank you. Dropped it through. Just going to put this edge of the stocking over the top. When I say stocking, they were tights and I just chopped the leg off. And I'm just dropping that through. Don't want it to go all the way down, just around the edge. That's fine. And then, here I've got some washed gravel. Now, you might not have washed gravel, but if you go outside and grab some stones or a bit of gravel from maybe your next door neighbour's garden, I'm sure they won't mind, you need to wash it. Wash it to get rid of the slug eggs and the sand. Because sand goes through stockings, and even with washed gravel, you still get, see, still get some. And in there I've just put enough to give it a bit of weight, bit of a bounce. That's it. Right, here we go. Don't need that anymore. Now, here I have compost, the right sort of compost for the plant. Now, as I was saying earlier, you can't just put compost into a leg of stocking and think it's going to work, because it won't. The remit of a stocking leg is to constrict and hang on to your leg. And so you need something to actually stop that compaction happening. Now, I've tried all sorts of things, but in the end, the first thing I tried by accident was the best. I call it Soft Pot Gold. Doo-doo-doo-doo. See, it looks like chunks of gold. It really does. It's very, very light. It comes from volcanoes and they blow it up like popcorn. And what that does is that once it's mixed in with the compost, and I mix it in at 3 scoops of compost to 1 of Soft Pot Gold, and what that does is that once it's mixed in and it's in the soft pot, it absorbs the water and nutrients, and a bit like porridge, it releases it slowly inside the pot. And most importantly, it stops that contraction, that constriction. Oh, hello, Nigel. Hello, love. Ha, ha, ha. And Karen. Oh, hello. Hello, love to the family. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you very much. Yeah. Right. Yes, Soft Pot Gold. Doo-doo-doo-doo. And what it is, it's a natural mineral, comes from volcanoes, and they blow it up like popcorn. And the interesting thing is that, you know, when you're doing ordinary gardening, you know, you're working with earth, air and water. But when you make a soft pot, you've got the fire element here. So you're actually then working with all 4 elements. And when you're decorating it with your own creative spirit. And you're making something that, if you ask me, is sacred. Because every single one of them is different. It honours the plant that you've built your pot around. And by the time you've finished, it's all welded into a oneness that's complete and unto itself, and it's a world to itself. And soft pots have an awful lot to say about themselves, I must say. It's the kindest way of keeping a plant if it can't be in the ground. That's what I would say. Right, I've got 3 scoops of compost here, and I'm just going to add 1 scoop of Soft Pot Gold. And I'm just going to mix it up. And when it gets mixed up, it looks rather like a scrummy sort of cake mix. And you know, if you don't decorate your soft pot and you put it outside, it looks like stone. And it's just beautiful. And you see, it stops, that stops the compaction. It looks like a sort of scrummy sort of cake mix, doesn't it? Right. Here we go. Now, I find that the best way to actually fill your stocking is, rather than sticking it there and trying to fill it on top of the table when it's sitting, if you just dangle it over the top of your pot, and then, with any luck, just let gravity fill it up. There we go. I mean, one of the things that's so lovely about soft pots, you know, is that you only need one plant to thrill you. You don't get a bad back from digging. You don't get dirty or grubby in any way. There we are. I've just filled that up. Now, what I've got there is my stocking leg with gravel at the bottom, my compost mix in there, and then what we're going to do is what I call the bounce. And all I'm going to do is bounce it on the floor. And as I'm doing that, all the compost is dropping to the bottom in a nice loose pile, and that's exactly what I want. Children just love this as well, you know. It's very therapeutic. Making soft pots is just incredibly therapeutic. Ah, look, and you see the soft pot gold in there? That is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Oh, hello, Barbara. Ha ha. Oh, glad you've joined me. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm still working on the Zoodoo dance in the daylight thing. Yeah, all that's still coming through. Really looking forward to meeting you all this summer. Yes. There we are. So, anyway, what am I doing now? Let me pop that there. Now, just... Right, I've done the bounce, and now I'm going to do the donut. Now, the donut, take my thumbs, put them in the middle, and then I'm going around and I'm squishing. I'm squishing any lumps that I can find. And found a few. And if you can't squish them, get your hand in and get them out. Because, ooh, that one. Yep. Different composts are different. Some of them have got logs in them, and others are much better, but that, you see, doesn't want to be in there. Right, so going round, doing the donut, squish, squish, squish. It feels like dough. It really does. It's very, very nice. Right, don't need the ring anymore. Need to take this out, walk my fingers down, and then just to give them an idea of what it is I'm going to ask of them, I'm just going to stretch that stocking, that leg, just there like that, and that'll make it easier to get the plant in. Now, I'm going to take my plant, take it out of its pot, come to me, close your eyes, come to me, just relax, take your time, da, da, da. Right, this is the most difficult bit of getting a plant, of making a soft pot really, is getting the plant into the pot in the first place. If you've got children, just stretch the leg, the opening out so that they can just drop the plant onto the top of the pot. They don't have to force it down, nothing like that. Just drop it straight onto the pot. If you're on your own, just do it the best way you can. After a while, you get quite good at it. What I'm doing is I'm getting my hands in there, stretching it open as wide as I can, and then just plocking that on the top of the pot. Now, I don't want to mess about with that bit, so I'm just taking up the stocking as high as it'll go without interfering with the plant there. Right, at this point, I always tend to think of them as a bit like children. You put them into bed, and now you just need to bring up the blankets. Now, if I take my thumb, stick it on the neck of the plant, and then very gently, I just bring up the compost. Just lift it up and tuck in the plant. It's the kindest, most gentle way of doing it, and it just is lovely. Don't worry about the shape at this point in time. When you've got 2 layers and you've decorated it and finished, it'll take any plant, any shape that you want to give it. No problem. Right, now I'm just going to roll it a little bit, settle it in there, bring this up, have a feel. Ooh, I mean, they're so tactile. Soft pots are just so tactile. And they do, I mean, automatically, suddenly they've got a body, and a body that you want to squeeze. It feels lovely to give them a squeeze. So, yeah. Oh, I've just taken a slice off a leg of stocking there. Got myself a loop. Going to cut it again. Going to tie it round. Nice and loose. No, I mean, when I say nice and loose, it's not. As soon as you can feel the plant, but you can still get your finger in there, that's where you want to tie the knot. Now, I'm showing you the simple soft pot. I always show you things that I can do with the simple soft pot. But there are many, many, many other forms and styles. The simple soft pot is always the first one I teach because it's the only soft pot that definitely doesn't spill. You can play ball with it and it won't spill. And that's really, really handy to know when you're in a house with, you know, clumsy people, dogs, cats, kids, or you move a lot. Yeah, so here we go. Right, now, always start with a petticoat. Basically, you're building a dress for a fairy going to the ball. And even if you can't invoke your inner fairy now, by the time you're finished, your inner fairy will have found you, I promise. Right, always want to go for a nice petticoat. You can't go to the ball in a beautiful dress without a petticoat underneath it. It just makes everything fall beautifully. So, right, what am I going to do? Going to find, let's have a bit of that. Yeah. Now, what I've got here on my backdrop is organza. I find organza makes a lovely petticoat. As a general rule, you can use anything else as well, but I rather like the base tone of organza. I find it's quite cheap, and it just gives. And what I'm doing is I'm just tucking it underneath that tie that I made. I mean, the lovely thing about soft pots is, you don't need pins, anything sharp and pointy, other than, a reasonably blunt pair of scissors. So, there we are, I've got that there. Now, I want to see what I can do here. That's what I've got. One of the important things about decorating soft pots is you always want to use synthetic materials. If you use natural materials, and by that I mean cotton, felt, silk, sacking, felt, it all rots. It goes slimy in between the layers, and it's absolutely disgusting, and you wouldn't want to use it. You really wouldn't. So stick to synthetic materials. And often if the plant's beyond itself and it's over, you can undo the pot and take out the materials and use them again. Even if you can't use the same soft pot again, you can certainly use the materials that it's been made from, because the majority of them are synthetic. What I'm doing here is I'm just using that tie to just pop some bits of material. There we are. And I'm just putting that through like that. all sorts of bits. What you're looking for are shiny bits of material, material with texture. I love this netting-y stuff, it's great. Again, I find this sort of stuff from the remnant shop. Or I go into, jumble sales, second-hand shops. Second-hand shops getting expensive though. There's just no end to the sort of materials that you can involve. I mean, once you've made 3 or 4 soft pots, you get what I call soft pot eyes. Everything you look at, you think, oh, can I make that? Put that in a soft pot? Could I use that, in a soft pot scene? Suddenly, everywhere you look, you're seeing the world through soft pot eyes. And you know something, it's a really wonderful, exciting, creative world. I mean, it's very hard these days to, you always have to learn things, and I find learning quite hard. It's so nice to be able to be so non-prescriptive. Soft pots, as long as they're made right on the inside, how or what you do with them on the outside, it's entirely a matter of taste. It's down to your imagination, and I'm not there to judge you. How you make them and what you do is entirely up to you. Now, I see children when I'm teaching in schools, and they're there busy looking at me going, am I doing this right, miss? Is this right, miss? And it takes them a while to actually get that, in fact, that there is no right or wrong. Oh, hello, Alex. Alex in South Africa now, I do believe. Oh, hello, Michelle. Oh, bless you. Hello. Oh, hello, girls. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. Yeah, I'm just making, I suppose it's sort of, it's for Steve, really. It's his birthday today. But it is coming into the love season, isn't it? We're coming into February, and generally, I often find that if I reflect the colours that are in the plant, you really can't go wrong. And the plant itself, it's sort of, because you're sort of boosting its own vibrational colour, they go, hello, look at me, I'm gorgeous. I mean, this one's only half dressed and she already looks better, doesn't she? Yes, so, anyway, this, by the way, is colour grass. And it's the only natural material that I can use. I think it comes from in the carpet industry. I think it's used in the carpet industry. But, as you can see behind me, all the colours that you can use, this is what makes you able to really make a soft pot to match anybody's decor, anybody's favourite colour. Because you've got all of those colours there. Now, I did say this was a natural material. You have to use it specifically. You need to put it on top of your petticoat. If you put it straight on to a soft pot, it will fade very quickly. But the lovely thing is that when you put it on the top of all this other stuff, as this does begin to fade back, so all the other stuff moves forward, and you find that your soft pot just keeps on evolving and changing year after year after year. Yep, soft pots are the gift that keep on giving and getting more interesting. Definitely. Right, here we go. I'm just going to fluff this up, light as a cloud. And the other thing about colour grass is that it sort of it acts as a grip. It just grips everything else that you might want to put on your soft pot, and that's why you don't need any sharp pointy things. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blag this round the pot. There we are. And I'm not going to put on too much. At one point I used to put on loads and loads and loads, and I don't anymore. Because it's not really necessary. And of course you can add, you can mix and match, put on other colours. Actually I might put on a little bit of green. A little bit of green just to reflect that. Right there. And again I'm fluffing it up. Just going to pop it round. And it's beginning to look like a little fairy going to the ball. Yes, yes, yes. And what other colours can I put in? Let's have a look. Oh, a bit of that. Let's have a little bit of that. I mean, it's definitely going on the pink theme, isn't it? Might just pop in a little bit more bling in there. And I'm popping it in underneath the colour glass. And the colour glass, of course, just holds it. It's just great stuff. I mean, soft pots are just the best fun to make and really, really therapeutic. And by the time you've finished, you go, wow! And you just got this buzz. Because there it is in all its beauty. Transformation. And it's transformation not just of the plant, it's a transformation that's affected within yourself as well. Don't take my word for it. Get yourself a kit. The £10 kit makes 5 or so soft pots, and you'll discover a whole new world and a whole new magic in the world. Because soft pots are magic. There's something about them. Ooh! I found this the other day in a second-hand shop, and when it comes to, when I say wool, I really mean acrylic wools. But what you want are as many different textures. Now I've found this, and it's just lovely, lovely. You look gorgeous, by the way, Alex. I saw the photograph of you and your the bridesmaids. Look gorgeous. Right, all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to drizzle this on any way that makes me happy. Completely random. And then, what else? Oh, a bit of that as well. Bit of peachy. This is knobbly stuff, see? Knobbly. Yeah, I do like knobbly things at the moment. Ha ha. Oh, yes. Oh, that's a good one. Have a look at that as well. I mean, the thing is, if by chance, if you make a mistake, or you use real wool, and it goes outside, 6 months later, you might notice that it's sort of gone mouldy looking. Just a bit mouldy looking. I like the look of it, personally. I call it patina. But, you know, if you don't like it, just take it off. You just take a damp cloth and wipe it off. Soft pots are washable, you know. If they've been indoors for a long time and it's dry and dusty and they've gone a bit dull, just take a damp cloth and wipe them off, and you'll see they come up all bright and shiny, just like they used to when you first made them. Just popping these on. This one, I like that colour as well. Oh yes, lovely. What else have I got? Have a look out here. Oh, that could be good. Maybe a bit of that. Actually, maybe a bit of that as well. This is just a bit of fright wig. Just a bit of fright wig there. Fright wigs are fantastic. They hold their colour, and they're just amazing. In a soft pot. And of course, they come in all the lovely colours. Here I've got some of those sort of fake petally things, but again, they're sort of reflecting that same colour. And I'm just popping them on, or slightly under actually. I'm just putting them slightly under there, just picking up the dress and just tucking them in. There we are. When I make a soft pot, I tend to go really quiet, you know. It is a meditation in a way. It is a very, very mindful thing. I often find that when I'm teaching, I can teach up to 30 Women's Institute ladies at a go. And the room can be really noisy, but as soon as they start making a soft pot, suddenly you can hear a pin drop. And everybody is completely absorbed in making their pot, and it's lovely. Yes, I mean, actually my talks and demonstrations are starting again in February. So, yes, if it's not too far away, I'm happy to come along and give a talk, give a demonstration, do a workshop with you. I'd love to come along. Right, what else have we got? Oh, quite like a little bit of green. Da, 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 da. Ooh, what else? Oh, I've got some little heart-shaped sequins. Yes, when in doubt, sequin it out. They'll fall through the layers, but as I said, given time, everything that you put in there will show through. Right, ooh, maybe a few more on that side. And maybe give it a little collar, huh? What do you think? Either a dress or a collar. Probably a collar. Now, this wire, at one point I used to strip electrical wire and then have to re-wrap it with all sorts of different things to sort of hide the fact that it was electrical wire. I mean, you can use electrical wire, no problem. But I sell this on my website and it's fantastic. It's already covered. And you finish up with a, you know, something that looks really, really pretty rather than something that looks like, yes. So yes, when it's important, ooh, better undo that. I need to wrap it that way. What I'm doing is I'm taking that little bit of wire and I'm just popping it round here to make a collar because it's too big for me to really get a bangle on. So I'm just going to drop that down there and hopefully that will hold. Just going to push some of this back up underneath. There we are. And then I think it's ready to go to the ball. Have a little look. Ooh, I know. Where is it? I found this wire. Well, it's not. It's sort of like goldy string stuff. Hello, Martin. Goodness me, gracious me, my cousin. Hello, love. Hello. Yes, I know. I look a bit different these days. I don't think you've seen me since I was sort of 20 odd. Right, what we've done, I'm just going to drizzle some of this on because a little bit of gold is just wonderful. And again, I'm just drizzling it around, completely random. This is the best dressed plant you'll ever see, Martin. Right, got a bit of that. Ooh, let's have a little bit of that. One can never have enough bling, can one? There we go. Right. The grand denouement. Let's see what we get. Do you think it looks like a fairy going to the ball? I think I found my inner fairy. Here we are. Right. Going to get my fingers in. Going to stretch that stocking. Going to move my hands down. Going to get my thumbs on the back. And those two hands there, going to go grab, bring it down, bring it round. There we are. Now, see how dark it is? And that's a 10 denier stocking. You can imagine if you've got 20 denier, forget it. And even with the tendenia, you have to work hard. There's another stage yet, so that everything comes out and just all the colours shine. So, right, what I've got now is I'm going to pick this up, and when I pick it up, there's a clear bit underneath there. See? There. Grab it. Don't let go. Grab a hold of its bum. Don't let go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rest of the stocking and pull it down over my arm. There we are. And as I'm pulling, so that neckline there is expanding. And I can control the aperture there. Now, I'm making a simple soft pot. I don't want, I want to be able to turn it upside down and it not spill. So I'm going to leave my aperture right there. I'm going to leave that just so, enough to let the plant out, but not let anything else out either. So, right, here we go. Got this, got that. There we are. See that? And all this stuff is all hanging down below here. With my other hand, I'm going to get in there and shove it all back up. And this is, you know, there's no point being myopic with a soft pot, you know. No, it all changes. And this is where it changes. You can just shove it all back up, and again, you're trying to make that base nice and clear. You want to keep that base nice and clear if you can. You always get something under there, but underneath is where it's going to take its moisture, and if it's got loads and loads of layers of stocking or material underneath, then that will affect its ability to drink. So here we go. Let's have a look, and you can see that ridge there. That's where that wire is. Put that in. Right. The next thing we're going to do is it sounds a bit cruel, but it's called the twizzle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to get it close to its bum so that it's not starting from right up there. Keep that in your hand because otherwise it'll try and get involved. And twizzle. And by twizzling, what you're doing is you're forcing the stocking material to become as sheer as it's possible for it to be. And by doing that, it's sort of welded. There we go. Now that is how it will stay. And without the twizzle, it would be just way, way, way too dark. So, right, here we go. Just going to tie a simple knot. I mean, really, you couldn't get simpler than a soft pot. And it's the most fun you can do if you like plants, but you don't like gardening. Gardening is hard work. It really is. Right, I've chopped off the remainder there. I've tied a little knot, chopped it off, chopped off the umbilical cord, and my soft pot is born. Now, at this point, it's got two levels. It will take any shape I want to give it. And I've got this little neckline that I put in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to force it up a little bit so that it's there. And then I'm going to tie a little bit of material. I'm taking a slice of tight, cutting it again so I've got a stretchy bit of string. Always use stockings when you're making ties, anything like that. Stay away from bits of nasty ratchet plastic and stuff. I've seen that before now. I'm tying this underneath that little neckline that I made. And I'm just forcing a bit more material into that area. And I can roll it, make it a bit fatter. Or I can squish it and make it thinner. Soft pots will take any shape that you want to give them. And once they're watered, they remember. So you don't want to be, you don't want to be changing its shape all the time. Once it's been watered, you want to sort of let that be, really. Now, let me see if I can just I'm just going to twizzle this a little bit. I mean, making a soft pot is actually quite quick, but decorating it, there's just so many things to choose from. So, right, there we go. Actually, I mean, when you make the shape with the soft pot, it's almost a collusion between you and the plant. Now, what else can I do there? I've got my little tie. I mean, this is where, if you can make bows and things like that, it's a lovely thing to do. Right. I'm just going to see if I can make another tie and tie it actually a bit tighter this time. There we go. Actually, I quite like that feel. That's sort of lovely. Right, I'm just going to chop off those ties. And ooh, a little bit of jewellery or something. Oh, bit of that. There we are. Looking after them is really easy, by the way. I mean, soft pots just absorb the ground and the rainwater if they're outdoors. But if they're indoors, just stand them in a little pot, a little bowl of water, and leave them for 5 minutes, and they'll just suck it up like a sponge. And when you pick it up, they won't be drippy or soggy. They'll be fine, because the soft pot gold has absorbed the water. And when you pick them up, I mean, they're a bit like friends. You can never tell at the side if a soft pot needs watering. You always have to pick them up, and if you feel underneath, you can tell by the weight and the dampness, if it's there or not. So yes, they're a bit like kids. You just get to know after a while. And when it comes to putting like an indoor plant, this is quite nice. This is just a Moo yogurt top. But what we have here is the perfect little stand for soft pots. You don't have to stand them in a big bowl. No, not at all. There we go. You see, that's enough to protect your furniture, and you see the whole pot, and that will be fine. Once it's watered, they're good for a week or more. And that is just pretty, isn't it? That is such a pretty little pot. And I've got the little frilly bits. Aww. Mwah. This is what happens when you make a soft pot. You can't help but kiss it. I promise you. Right, so what I'm going to do there is, now I've done that, I mean, I might just fiddle with it a bit more. I mean, sometimes you can fiddle with them for hours. And if you don't like what you've done, you know, just take it apart, put it back together in a different way. Soft pots are completely flexible, completely joyful. As long as they're made right on the inside, get the soft pot gold, you can't go wrong. Even if you don't get anything else, get the soft pot gold from me. Big bag goes a long way. And you can have just so much fun, you know, so much fun with soft pots. Right, what am I doing? Ah, here we are. Now, I've just got a bowl. Just going to put some water in it. just going to plonk the little pot in there, leave it for 10 minutes, and when I take it out, it should have absorbed all the water. But if by chance, for whatever reason, there's still water in there, when you take it out, just leave it to drain. Clear underneath. Just leave it so that it's clear underneath. And within 10 minutes, you'll find that, again, you can pick it up. It's not drippy and soggy. And then it's ready to go into its place in your home. If it's outdoors, just whack it out there. And it'll drain, it'll be fine. So, you've seen indoor plants, outdoor plants. And this January, you can see I've been a hobbit. I have to admit. I've stayed in a lot, haven't gone out. And I've tried to reuse everything that I've already got. And I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it. We're moving into February now. And February, to me, it's a time of love, birds, those sort of symbols. So, yes, we're moving into a different phase. And so next week, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll do something different. So, with any luck, I'll see you hopefully here with me next week. And until then, I wish you joy and ease. I thank you so much for joining me. Please feel free to order a kit. Look at my website, softpots.com, or even come and visit me at Henshaw's. It's magical. Soft pots are magical. Join in the magic. Share the love. Thank you very much indeed. All the best to you, wherever you may be. Thank you. Bye for now.